How are
Good.
you guys doing?
We're doing good. Welcome to the Shark Tank. I mean, welcome to the tank.
Welcome.
Welcome to IBM TV. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Well, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
I'm Divya. I'm basically an entrepreneur, a startup owner. I have a company which is into clinical research. We do conduct trials on pharmaceutical, nutraceuticals, maybe vaccines, all the human studies we do give a result. After that, any products goes to market. There's one thing, and I also have a nutraceutical manufacturing unit where we manufacture vitamins, minerals, and export it to countries like Europe and US.
Mhm.
Basically, I'm an entrepreneur, businesswoman, and also my degree is MSc in biochemistry. So I'm also partly a scientist in clinical research.
And what city are you out of?
Bangalore, India.
Bangalore, India. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're
yeah,
next door to Ankit over there, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
You're right down the street. You guys know each
yeah.
other, eh?
Yes, 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 yes,
Like that.
yes.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
thing is, yeah, Willie Hill is our startup expert over there. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, he runs I think
Hi.
Startup Australia in Europe and has like 20,000 peep followers or something like that. And Kit over there has
Okay.
about
Okay.
1.3 billion followers, and
Okay. Oh,
the rest of
wow.
us are
That's great.
yeah, the rest of us are relatively unimportant. Okay, so,
No, no, no.
So, Divya, explain to us a little bit about the clinical trials that you work on. If you can move your camera a little bit so we can see your face a little bit better. You're so beautiful.
yeah,
I
move
love
it
Yeah.
down.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're getting the ceiling. There we go. Okay,
and I'm so honored
there
to
we
be
go. That's better.
speaking with a fellow woman entrepreneur. It's not very often that we get to do that. And we
Yeah.
are starting a special for women entrepreneurs. So maybe you'll come and join us there. But
Sure.
explain to
Definitely.
us what you're doing in the clinical trials and some of the things that you're expanding on during this day and time.
Okay, okay, okay. See, currently, what we do in the clinical trials is we do recruit patients. For example, you have a vaccine, you need to try it on patients or healthy volunteers and see how it works, how efficacious the drug is, how safety it is for human use. So, this is what we have been doing. But right now, due to COVID and coronavirus, most of the hospitals, private hospitals, have all shut down in India. Very few private hospitals have started opening up, and the patients inflow is very less, so there's a quite shortfall in the clinical research business. We look at it in a other way. It's good people are not going to hospitals, and not and not, it's a good sign, but where it comes to a business point of view, we had agreed a lot of studies for US, Europe. We had quite agreements which we had signed, but due to this COVID virus, COVID attack, or what a coronavirus effect, which we all are having, we had to cut down the studies, and we have to start trying to do something else. So that's where I came up with a COVID testing kit, viral RNA extraction kit, which was developed by our own company. So we all have to deviate from the business, what business currently we are, and that's what we observed. So many people were doing so many things, and they started selling this masks, sanitizers, and all those things. So masks and sanitizers are all became, everybody was started doing that. So we wanted to do something different in this COVID situation. That's where we came up with testing kits, viral RNA testing kits. The chief minister of Karnataka launched the kit, and we are getting very good inquiries from diagnostic laboratories and hospitals, which we are doing COVID tests. So
Oh,
that's how we switched over business immediately when we found there's something challenging at this point of time.
so are they actually physically manufactured in your facilities, or are you dispatching manufacture in other facilities? How is this coming about? How are you packaging it? Just so people can understand what you're doing, and are you raising money for the business? Is this your company? Those kind of things.
Yeah, this was developed by our own company. We are not doing in anyone's facility. We had already a facility, which is a clean room facility. We have manufacturing over there itself, and we got the ICMR of approval, Indian Council of Medical Research. This is a body which approves any medical device or anything which comes to the market. ICMR is the body, DCGI, which is related to the DCGI. we got a approval in our name and we are doing it ourselves. We are not giving it to any third party manufacturing or something, so that we have a control over deliverables to the clients or the buyers or the hospitals, and we can do things better.
So, how much are you manufacturing at a time right now? And is distribution beginning? Has it, what are the outbound? What's the outbound for this?
Yeah, currently we are manufacturing in few thousands actually, but our capacity we have increased to lakhs. We have procured raw materials which can serve for lakhs. As we just launched 1 week back, we got orders of few thousands which we are manufacturing and we are able to deliver it. And we have in the pipeline many more thousands, and it may reach 1 or 2 lakhs in another 1 to 2 months. The inquiry definitely we'll be doing good with those things. And with respect to clinical research, we were doing studies in big hospitals. Now we are collaborating with small clinics or nursing homes type of hospital setup, where we can get few patients in and around that area. Definitely if they have some small issues, they definitely go to that. So that way the studies which we were on hold, we continue doing that. This how I compare it with is like when the big malls were all shut down all over the world, that small shops are the one who got the business. It's something like that. When the big hospitals are all shut down, we are conducting studies in small nursing homes and so small setups, where one hospital, one doctor, one nurse will be there in a smaller setup and trying to complete the projects this way.
Okay, so a
And this
question
is basically,
about the test itself. Go ahead. Well, let me ask this one question, Ankit, then I'll. How long is the return for the test result?
This will be actually uh, at least 24 hours.
Wow. Okay. 20. So it's clinically taken and then clinically ran through a test process,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's analysis. So it's not something that can be done at home at this time.
See, there are two types of testing. One is rapid
yeah,
testing, antigen
yeah,
antibody testing. In this testing, what ICMR has told, even though if you do a rapid testing, you have to do a RT-PCR testing because of the false results. And rapid test results, you may get positive due to other viral infection also. Your immunoglobulins level may increase to different reasons. That doesn't mean you have a COVID. So false positive, false negatives. So RT-PCR is the gold standard which ICMR has seen, which every COVID testing center has to follow. So people are taking 2 days to give the results, but actually we can do it in 24 hours. This it's a procedure where you have to centrifuge it, lyse it. There's a lot of procedure involved in it. So it definitely take in 2 days the patient is getting in hand the result.
Wow. Okay. So, but
Yeah.
24 hours is excellent. Is this something that you would be interested in the business? And I know Ankit's got a question. I'm going to let other people talk. I'm sorry, but
that's fine.
this is something I'm very interested in. Is this something that you would be interested in collaborating with other people in other countries and help us to open up labs in other countries?
Definitely, we would be interested to do that.
Okay,
This will
great.
help. This will help. There's a lot of cases around, and there will be a lot of requirement of these kind of tests and kits. Definitely, we would be able to serve it in better way with better quality and more economical way.
One of the ideas I have, because I serve on two university board of advisors, and one of the things I had wanted to see happen was the utilization of university laboratories, because there are a lot of universities all over the country. We could, and a lot of the schools are shut down, and I thought that we could take something like what you're doing, and because it still has to be clinically done, and run the test in the university labs. This would give students an opportunity to work and do, and gain real life,
Definitely. See, this is not a rocket science. This is not a rocket science.
right. And it would expand and broaden the ability to isolate this situation quickly. Because, a lot of people don't remember, but in 1918, the flu worldwide estimatedly killed 50 million people
Correct.
before they could get control over it. You would think we would be smarter by now, but sometimes over time, I think we deaden our sensibilities. But I'm sorry, and you know what, Aunt Kit, I need for you to take it. I mean, I'm impressed. So
That's all right. I mean,
I might have
there's a
taken
good
your
conversation going on.
question. Anybody else have questions for
Yes,
us? And I want to know how many I can start ordering right now. But
yeah. I know. I'm so impressed, and I don't know if this term is used in India, but I think you really have demonstrated business chops and scientific chops. And what I mean is that you really know your stuff. You come across like you really know your stuff. Are you ever have trouble being taken seriously because you're a woman and because people don't necessarily associate you as someone who looks like you with someone who is as intelligent and accomplished as you are?
thank you.
Yeah, see, when it comes to some cities, I think Bangalore as a such, there's no differentiation between women and men or something like that. Maybe some remote areas still there's a perception man can always do better. That may be there, but in Bangalore we don't face that kind of issues, and definitely may the age may be the factor because when if you have a bald head and if you have a gray hair, oh people, okay fine, he knows very well. Yes, enough experience. Bad hairs and gray hairs makes much more better business than a nice looking young woman.
But you know what? Don't let that bully you into getting gray hair because when you get gray hair, they go, "Oh, you're too old."
That's
So
right. You got
you
no
have
window.
to- this is
You know,
You're too young or you're too old. There's no window in
but
between.
Kim, you know,
Yeah,
sometimes what happen in India, if you have a couple of gray hairs, you'll get some more profit as compared to the black hair people because gray hairs means more experience and then you can get more
more
profit.
experience. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. In North in America, it means you're too old. So you know, and anyone from
I did
America
have a
will tell
follow-up
you that.
question,
What
and
you
we're
know?
going to get back to your business and your fascinating business. But I think that the name Divya is a common female name in
Okay.
where you're from. Is that not correct?
Yes, yes, absolutely correct.
And so it's more or less unusual here. And I have my spiritual advisor is also named Divya, and
Okay.
I have my idea of what it actually means. But could you tell me what you think it means?
I didn't get your question. Can you
What
please
does your
repeat?
name mean?
Divya.
Does your main name have a meaning? Because
It's my name means divinity, purity. It's something real. It's a power. My name means power.
That's right. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I just wanted to draw that out before we got too far into.
yeah,
no,
yeah.
so we have a spiritual channel here on IBM TV, and we've been learning about all of these spiritual applications, which I feel like have a very powerful impact in some of our lives. It's just inevitable, but very lovely. So, talk a little bit about your background. Let's you know, now that we have you on the show, let's talk about your background. How did you get into doing what you do? Because not many women do this, at least
Yes,
not
yes.
in America. So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let me just give you a brief background about myself. When I started my studies, I was very much keen. I want to become entrepreneur, and I want to be in business. That's what even during my schooling and studying was in my head too much. And that was an era where IT was in the boom and the peak. If you ask anybody in India or especially in Bangalore, what do you want to become? They want to become an engineer. Everybody wanted to become engineer because engineers means they travel abroad, they have nice packages, and they get good goodies, and they have a very good lifestyle. That's what was the trend when I was studying. And then I understood I have to do something different than what everybody is doing around. So I want to do something different, and I loved science a lot. At the same time, I don't didn't want to be a lab person, being wearing a coat and being inside the lab doing stuff. At the same time, that's what I thought is I want to study science and I want to get into business. This is what I thought. And I did my master's in MSc in biochemistry. And I joined a company, a clinical research company, and which I started things from. It was a startup company where there were two people or three people working, and I got a lot of business to them. I did extensive networking, marketing for the company, and they got a lot of growth in just 1 or 2 years since I joined, and they made a lot of money out of me. Then I realized if I can work for someone and make them grow rich, why can't I work for myself and grow myself? And that was and my ambition was to become an entrepreneur. So it was again, I joined another company for another 1 year. That year was completely planning for my company, which I had to start. So when I joined the second company, parallelly I start planning, registering my company, doing all the background things, checking out who may give me business in case I leave this job and come out, making a thorough research on that. And once I got a good clarity, yes, I can do. And when I got 2 3 projects, when I was already working in some other company, I got 2 3 projects to the company I registered. Immediately, I left the company and I started this. And we are doing good. We have completed more than 50 plus clinical research work. We have served the different countries: Southeast Asian market, US market, Indian market, European market. We are able to do that with this. So this is what my background is. And at the same time, we started with one more. When I was doing clinical research, service is not just enough. We want to get into product industry. That's where we started the nutraceutical business, where we started manufacturing things and exporting. So after the product was fine and all these things were getting settled, now I felt it's COVID time. Okay, it's everything is going down. Let me do something what is people need right now. That's why we came up with the idea of testing kits. So I am just tweaking myself according to the situation and the current need. Yeah, this is
Which
a
is
brief, but
classically what a business person does. Seize
yes,
the
yes,
opportunity.
yes,
Fantastic,
yes,
fantastic.
yes.
Very
Thank
great.
you so much.
I mean, and you are on the one thing you've learned is you have to pivot to what society's
Yeah.
needs are sometimes, and that's what you did with this particular test kit. What do you need to grow and expand? Are you situated well because you've got sales, and it's probably B to what I call B to how about B2C, B to business to business, B2B.
B2B, yeah, yeah.
Right. And generally, medical profession, hopefully that is a good paying entity. Are the insurance company? I don't know about India. Are the insurance companies covering the cost, or have you thought about that?
See, now people who had previous insurance, those insurance companies are not. Most of them are not covering COVID.
Wow.
Currently, few new insurance policies have come up with a higher premium, higher these things, where they are covering COVID.
Okay, so maybe perhaps in the United States we can get a coverage, but let's talk about scalable models because any entrepreneur, when you get a product out there, that is what you want to do, right? So you got your sales started, you're doing B2B,
Mm.
And you want to scale. You're doing for your community first, which is very, very important. That's the way most small businesses begin, and because the need is very strong. I think a 24-hour test kit, such as yourself, is phenomenal. It's
That's
phenomenal.
Yes, yes.
It's
Thank
because
you.
right now, like we do that kind of test. What's it called? The PRC test. We do it, and it takes almost a week. My son just
Oh,
had.
no, we are giving it 24 hours. In 2 days, the patient has the results in their hand.
Wow. Here
Yeah.
it's. What about you, Jim? What have you been discovering where you live? How long is it taking?
Oh yeah, if you can get tested, it takes a while before you get the results back. And before I have to ask this one question before we go further in this very fascinating direction, because I'm an ugly American, and when I think of Bangalore, is that about half an hour from New Delhi or
No, it's 3 hours.
2 hours.
3 hours?
Yes, 2.5, 3 hours. It's
Oh
Okay.
wow,
2.5 3 hours.
Jim.
So,
And
Jim, to add on that, it's like traveling from New York to California via flight. You need 6 hours,
yeah,
and then we
6
need
hours to
3 hours
fly.
and we need 3 hours from Delhi to reach our Silicon Valley, Bangalore.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for
And
me,
women entrepreneurs are very less in India. Where that I had to talk about this. Women entrepreneurs are very less in India
yes.
because of the kind of obligations they are got into. It's like when you're already. I mean, now the scenario is changing. When you're 26 or 27, they are just pushed. Okay, you have to get married. When they're 28 to 29. Okay, fine, you're ready for the kids. And when the man is on the road, in the office or something, somebody has to take care of the kids. So it's very difficult in India for a woman to come up and do some business out. And this is the challenging situation over here.
Do you feel like you have some extra pressure on you to be a role model or a trailblazer of any kind?
Sorry?
Do you feel like you have extra pressure on you as one of the female entrepreneurs? And
Yes.
have more pressure on you because you're trailblazing. You're a leader and someone that
Yeah.
might be a role model for others.
Yes. See, unless if you're being successful doing what you're doing, then everything goes fine. If you fail, that's where the problem starts.
Right.
Divya,
So,
you've probably heard of Kiran Mazumdar's show.
Yeah. She's my role
Yeah.
model. She's my role
Yes.
model. When I was during my college days, I used to admire her a lot. I grew up looking at her, and even during my schooling days, I always thought I have to be like her, and I am in that journey.
Yes.
Yes. I'd
Good.
met her a long time back, and so I was thinking of her when you started talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is the one woman where the whole world looks at. And I met her a couple of times when there was a meeting here where there was a hell lot of men, about 30-40 men, and there were 5 to 8 women there. As soon as Kiran Majumdar Shah entered, all the men got up and they were just. That is what I wanted to see, the difference in India. That is what I want to see, the difference. I felt so proud of her looking the way people started looking. They stood up and they were just. That's what I feel good about her.
It's a pioneering impact, and it's been slow. The change for women have been slow. A conversation with a female who has her own TV show with IBM TV from Africa shares the same struggles, that things have not changed much for women over the years. Even though she's doing her show, there's still great fear. She was sharing with me, still big fear for women to go to school. We had that Chibok situation where those women young girls were kidnapped, and not all.
Yeah.
So they still struggle too. And unlike you, I have been wanting to see change. I've been an engineer for 40 years, and when I started, I was the first and only female in most of my positions, and it was my goal to see more and more women grow into the things that I was doing. And I kid you not, 5-6 years ago, I went to a conference that I was invited to for fiber standards, for global fiber standards. And when I entered the room, I wasn't paying attention. And I sat at the front of the room with some friends. And next thing I know, the speakers are going, lady and gentleman, lady. And I go, do they have a list? Is there something wrong here? And I looked around, and, Diva, it was still disappointing after all of these years. I was still the only female in that high level standards committees room.
True.
That women have still not either taken the aggressiveness to continue that path, or they, from what I have been told, many women in the computer engineering world drop out of college and change their curriculum to something else because the engineering curriculum is just too difficult, not study wise, just too difficult as a woman. Yeah, just too difficult as a woman. So
guys that look like me don't like people that look like you, and butting in onto my territory.
What does that have to do with science, Mr. E?
You know what I say?
We're talking about science here, Mr. E. Okay, now I have a question for Diva.
We have this saying in the South that I eloquently tell people.
This is science, Mr. E. Please,
I say that very nicely
please.
and politely.
I have a question for the Diva over there. Quercetin. Okay, this actually came to me from one of our doctors, Dr. Moskowitz in the United States, who received his MD from a university called Harvard, which is not very well known outside the United States. But his question was this: and he's actually a practitioner as well as he runs his research center. He was using quercetin, I guess that's the name of this. It's like a vitamin, successfully on his patients. But he goes, I don't have enough trials on that. And the real problem is it's a practical financial problem. If something like that actually does mitigate coronavirus, hey, nobody can make any money off it. Big problem. You see what I mean? So would your company be somebody interested in, he reached out to me on this, interested in actually doing some clinical trials on quercetin? I guess that's how you spell it.
Quercetin. And I take it because he prescribed it to me because I was not feeling well during COVID, and my fatigue level just accelerated. But I added something to it, and he agreed that it made a big difference, and that was beetroot. Nitric oxide and quercetin combined, my fatigue level drop has, it's not been overnight. And he even said it won't be overnight, but over a period of time, my fatigue has dropped, my energy has picked up, and I'm breathing better. So
but the thing is, again, it's not, like you said, it hasn't gone through clinical trials. He's just been using it ad hoc with good results.
Well, as treatments for patients, and I was one of his outside guinea pigs.
But would your company, Diva, be interested in pursuing something like that? And then we can introduce you to Dr. Moskowitz, who's in Los Angeles, California.
Definitely, we can do that.
Okay,
that's great.
We are working with a couple of companies which United States. You may be heard of Glambia, the whey protein.
Mm-hmm.
The whey protein, Glambia. We are working with them, and we have done good studies with them.
Right. Okay. See, that's what they need, is they actually need a study rather than ad hoc random trials. And
he's been doing a study. He just finished his paper. He just wrote the paper and got it published. So his paper just became published, and we were talking about finding means to incorporate some of the necessities. But he said that quercetin, you have to be very, very careful when taking it. He and I talked a lot on this because I was very serious about trying something to help me feel better. And I don't know if I ever had the COVID. I just stayed home and didn't go anywhere. And I swelled up. I did take antibiotics to clear it up. I probably did.
It's possible because a lot of people are asymptomatic.
Some are just taking hydroxychloroquine.
I didn't take that. I took antibiotics and an antibiotic that's generally used for malaria. Yeah. And I took some other medications that I had around the house, some prednisone. And he said that these are treatments that you give for asthma patients anyway, for breathing.
Yeah, prednisone I've been on, and yes, it's not
so
bad.
I mean, but all in all, what was killing me more than anything, I got over the infections and everything, but what was killing me more than anything was the fatigue and the breathing. I could never recover my fatigue and breathing, and that has helped tremendously. So it was quercetin and nitric oxide, a combination of the two. And nitric oxide opens the blood vessels to allow things to flow. And the quercetin, now he said you have to be very, very careful. Don't just go out and take a bunch of it either, because too much of it will cause your joints to swell and lock up. So
So actually does.
I've already done the study with him.
Really? Okay. Well, the thing is, maybe we should bring him.
I'm a scientist too. I might not have a PhD, but I'm a scientist.
Well, maybe just bring him on Friday with Diva and hook him up, because the thing is, he did reach out to me and wanted to know if my billionaire buddies are interested in studies. Billionaires are usually interested in making more billions, not studying anything. Okay, that's for that's for other people to do. You know,
I could write it and say it worked fine, and nobody's going to believe me unless I have a PhD.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but
I believe he has an MD from Harvard, so he does.
So he's got the paper,
and he's been around for many years. So the thing is, and he runs a clinic, so he's a practitioner and has a research study. But just like anybody in the medical profession, if you find data, you need more supporting data. And the other problem with the pharmaceutical industry, I don't know if do you run a compound pharmacy at all, or have you done that before? Diva, compound.
Sorry, I didn't.
Divya, did you run a compound pharmacy at one time?
No, 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 no.
Okay, all right. Well, one problem that they have is it's a monetary problem. Ankit knows exactly what it is. Okay,
Hmm.
if there is a solution, let's say it's turmeric, because we had, I think, I don't know, it was Alexander or,
It was Alexander. It was
yeah, he
Irene.
brought in Irina Kirsch,
Turmeric.
a chess grandmaster, actually had it and took this herb turmeric or something like that.
Turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yeah, which was with good results. Okay, the problem with that, okay, is that there's no way to monetize it. So there's people don't like studying herbs and alternative therapies. Yeah, let's
Correct,
get
correct,
real,
correct.
because they can't make money off it. If that's a
But
solution
Nick,
for coronavirus, forget it. I'm out. You know, how do you make, so you need your own little special solution that you can patent, and then you can monetize it. So
Well, I don't know that, but if you combine a few elements, I don't know that you would patent it as much as you just manufacture it and get out there first with it. Sometimes patents take too long, as we know. Mine took from 2012 to 2000 and
Okay,
2012 to 2019.
but
So,
let's get real. All the vitamins and all that type of stuff that's relatively available, if it has a positive effect, there's no financial incentive to study it. Really?
there's no financial.
I mean, well, you know, if aspirin solves coronavirus, no one really cares because you can't monetize on it today. Okay, so the thing is, you're not going to study that. Instead, you're going to study something like remdesivir, which Gilead Science has a patent on, and try to make that fit in the square hole. The FDA here just recently said an effective treatment means better than 50%. Okay,
Right now,
that's pretty interesting. And by the way, I believe they're going to have because we predicted this almost a year ago, that they're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year. Yeah, so it helps 50%. What happens to the other 50%? They get sick and die. But we're not going to tell you that. Okay, we're just going to tell you we have a vaccine.
Well, let's consider something here, Nick, when we're looking at why they haven't continued doing research after every epidemic situation like SARS, MERS. All of these things were corona-based, right?
Sure.
They've also had this epidemic in animals, right? So this is, and the reason why I know this is I did some research and discovered there were labs in China that were working on a vaccine by mutating coronaviruses in chickens. So they were mutating coronaviruses in chickens and trying to build a vaccine. We've had this problem for years. We fix the problem temporarily and move on. We've never continued research.
But that wasn't really clear. Bill Gates predicted this 5 years ago. He said, well, we need about 400 billion.
He warned Trump in 2016.
Pardon?
He warned Trump in 2016.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, he predicted this 5 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, quite some time ago. He goes, well, the biggest thing facing America and the world is a pandemic, and here's how it's going to work, and you're going to spend $3 trillion. You need to spend several billion, maybe it's 400 billion, more than he has, to start working on it right now, and they ignored him, seriously. Now they think he started it. Bleh, that's dumb. That's totally not true.
My favorite conspiracy theory.
Yeah, right. I've seen this. Totally not true morons who believe that. Okay, but the thing is, do believe this. He was correct. Okay, during that period of time, there was one leader of one of the major countries in the world who had a pandemic unit specialist, and he fired all of them. Like no kidding. 2 years before he got elected. Yeah, you wouldn't know what country that would be. Now, this country he happens to leads in one thing. It has the most coronaviruses in the world. Okay, think about it. Okay, that's called, in my book, one word.
USA.
Stupid. No,
USA.
it's not. USA. You're a stupid A. I mean, then the thing is, that's the realities of it. You're stupid, eh? Okay, see, the thing is, Willie would
You're
get
doing
that.
Canadian accent.
You're stupid, eh?
So let's talk about the importance of a test kit. And my theory on the test kit is that we could definitely use this to help control the wildfire by early detection. If you're testing something, you're getting the results back in 24 hours, and the test results are 80% accurate, which is better than any other place.
Oh, Kim, we've been talking about this months before it happened. months and months before this even happened. I feel like Bill Gates, you're talking the wilderness of moronic. Okay, and the thing is,
talking to stupid people in the United States.
Yeah,
We're now talking to smart people on IBM TV.
we were saying when the death rates here were around 15,000, we predicted it was going to go over 100 within X amount of months. It did so. We predicted quite accurately, okay, that they're going to relax the rules and it's going to increase again. Guess what happened? They relaxed the rules here and increased again. This is not rocket science. You don't need somebody as smart as Diva to figure this one out. Okay.
That's what she said. It's not rocket science.
Divya, I have a
Well,
question for you that
Yeah.
during the current situation in India, especially in the world, how many kits we require, for next 6 months?
Sorry, your voice was
How
not
many
clear.
test kits do we require right now to cover up the next 6 months for India and for the world?
Oh,
We
it
have
will
an
be in it will be in few lakhs. I think every day lakhs of tests are happening in India. Every day. In fact in Karnataka or in Bangalore, the tested positive case are in thousands. That means the testing is going on in lakhs. So
Okay.
we may reckon lakhs. Lakhs means it may be in the millions.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, I want to ask
And
you.
on the other hand, do you think that we should also add a combination of test kits like testing COVID with other maybe malaria or maybe diabetes, so that we have a combination of multiple test kits using the same blood?
And at this point of view, combining with other things would not be a good idea, I feel.
No, because you know that right now monsoon season is going on, so we have
Yes,
malaria
yes.
cases, swine flu, we have typhoid, we have a lot of other cases as well. And
So
That is rapid test. What you're talking is about rapid test kit where you just take the blood and prick and you just
yeah, that's what I'm
yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
This is not the rapid test. Rapid test
No, I
is
know that.
not.
I understand. I know that you are into a different test kit, but what I'm trying to understand is that if we have one blood sample, and with that blood sample we can carry multiple tests at the same point of time, and as rapid
Here
as.
what we are doing, we are taking nasal or oral swabs. We are not taking the blood samples. The swab samples is what we are taking for coronavirus testing, not the blood samples. So I'm not
and,
sure
and,
how we would like to
and also
combine.
with the swab samples, we have seen that the success rate is around 85%.
Yes,
To
yes,
what we think
definitely.
about it.
Yeah, definitely. 85 to
Just
90%.
So do you recommend to have 2 swab tests in a period of 10 days to get the actual thing
No,
done?
they do on the 7th day and they do on the 14th day
Okay.
okay.
to check what is the
Let's talk
progress on.
about how we can get these combined, collaborate, work together globally. I can connect you with some people. I would like to, like what Nick wants to do, talk to you about doing some work in some of the solutions. They're treatments. They're not answers to cures, right? They're treatments, and that's what we need moving forward. Is probably some things that people can treat at home that is safe. But let's talk about collaborating, scaling your business model. And if you want to connect and do that, I have a lab here in the United States that we can incorporate that with. I also have connections with 2 universities that we could also connect those resources with. So let's see what
Definitely.
we can do. Let's see what we can do to make this everywhere. And I know Willie's probably got connections in Australia. Sasha's got connections in.
I've got an idea how to.
Sure, we can do a technology transfer. We can do a.
Yeah.
We did not travel to United States to build a kit or something. We can.
So what we could do is buy the license from you, right? And that way we're just not stealing it and using it.
Yes.
Incorporated business.
It's more of a collaboration. Where we connect the world, connect the dots,
Right.
and
But-
sharing the best practices. That's what we do on IBM.
Yeah, we
Yes,
don't
yes.
want to just take
You've
it
got the
off.
business chops, you've got the science chops. Kimberly puts you in touch with this guy, and you can do a controlled study and prove that you have something effective. What you need is next step is the marketing. And I would suggest that you say you package it in something and you call it COVID Ease. And it'll be all over the pharmacies in the United States. Everybody will be taking it at home, and everybody will feel better. And you'll become a Bill Gates.
That's something similar to what we did before, something ease, cold ease.
That's all you
Cold
have to
Ease.
do.
It's a good name. Good name.
And Americans will buy it.
Yeah. But one more thing I want to tell you. this everybody cannot take it and handle it themselves. You need a RT-PCR machine in your laboratory setup. That's what
Exactly.
she was telling. You need a RT-PCR machine. You need a experienced technician, or if he's not experienced, also we can train him how to handle the things. So he has to handle like preparing the buffer, mixing it, centrifuging it, lysing it. There's a procedure involved in it. It's a procedure where people themselves cannot do it at their home or something like that. It should go through a laboratory process.
And I think every university in the world could set up a small lab. And
Yes, definitely. This doesn't require any expensive instrumentation or a huge setup or something. With normal laboratory, with minimal things, you can do it.
So maybe we can set up what I call monetized training sessions. So we work together and we bring the training to the United States, and we bring it to Canada, to Australia, to Hong Kong, and we can all elaborate on this, because to me, early testing means early detection. Testing means early detection. Early detection means isolation and reduce fatalities, because early detection means early treatments. And if you isolate, it means, keeping the wildfire under control. And Diva, I really appreciate this opportunity. I hope that you join us.
Definitely. I want to tell you one more point also. Here, people are charging about $80 to $90, $80 or something for each COVID testing or something. If I mean, technology, the cost which is incorporating for this entire kit is not more than $10 to $15 for each sample analysis. If you have a laboratory and if you have people working around, you can test a sample in $20, or investing just $20, and you can make it huge.
I'll give you an example of business monetization. Okay, the kits that they're bringing in for rapid testing are $6 per test. Okay?
Yeah. But rapid testing is not the confirmatory for the COVID.
But I want to explain to you how the upcharge happens. It comes into this country $6 per test. By the time they use it at the doctor's office, it's $38.
Oh, yeah. It's so many hands would have passed.
Look at that.
But Divya, what I believe is that apart from the testing, we should focus on creating more test labs, or maybe some kind of mobile test lab, so that we can get the testing done at the same point of time.
Definitely. This is also a wonderful
I think
idea.
we can discuss all that together on a different call, maybe, because we have a guest lined up right now. So it was good to have you, Divya, and we would love to host you again. Thank you for joining us on IBM TV.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
We have to do a Divya part 2 on IBM TV soon we can.
Yeah. Thank you. I look forward for the same.
Divya, I'm going to send you in private chat my email. Please email me so we can get this going.
Sure.
Okay.
Please do that.
It's right there in private chat. And
we would like to welcome Scott Murray. Hi, Scott. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hi. How are you?